Thank you all for being here, taking time out of your day, especially the ones that work, and then even y'all school-wise and missing class. We appreciate it. So this is our first meeting of the school year. We have to have 4, so we'll do 2 this semester and 2 next semester. Try to keep them brief, but at least go over what we need to, and then if anyone else has to add anything to it. So we always have junior high and high school student representatives. So we have Austin and Dayla from the high school, and then Brecken and Harper for the junior high. Some of y'all, I don't think were here last year, so just a little bit about SHAC. Just School Health Advisory Committee. It's a district level advisory council that assists the district in ensuring that local communities' values are reflected in the district's health, education, instruction. So it's really, it's for the parents and the kids. It's mandated by state law, appointed by the school board, and as well as its ways to share health concerns, options, things to improve the school district going to the school board. It reviews all the health-related curriculum, also makes recommendations on health-related topics for our kids. Majority are supposed to be parents of students that are not employed, as well as healthcare professionals, the clergy, student representatives, and then the business community, and then school staff that does work here within the 8 components of coordinated school health. So like health services, counseling services, nutrition services, physical education. So we have our counselors that usually try to come, as well as our other school nurses, and then usually our cafeteria coordinator, Tina, comes. I don't think she could come today, but she tries to be in as well. The benefits, I mean, it supports the kids towards their education, also helps with health, school community. It's just a voice, like I said, for parents and for kids to benefit them here at school. Just some updates that happened just this school year. I'm sure if you're a parent and you're a kid, you've seen the new health-related service form that has to be filled out on every student within the district. This was because Senate Bill 12 passed. It's just giving the parents a right to opt in or opt out for their kid to have health services here while at school. We've had a lot of confusion on that. As of right now, if we can treat any kid unless a parent has specifically signed it and opted their kid out of the service. Unless it's a life-threatening event, of course, we're going to do anything we can to help the kid. But it's literally, it's from checking the temperature to thinking Tylenol, ibuprofen, from their vision and hearing, state screenings. So if a parent opts out, we have to just reiterate, like, look, we can't even do our mandated state screenings on them. If you do choose to opt out, they'd have to go to their PCP and get this done. And then if they are sick or have a bad migraine and just need to lay down and have a temperature check or maybe need some Tylenol, you're going to have to come get them and get them seen about. But we are having confusion of, how would you say it, Stacey? I feel like just in general, parents are confused on the services.
There were some, I think, at first thought maybe we were bringing other people in to do these services to them versus us, like, couldn't even give a Band-Aid or put cortisone cream on anything.
Or give a cough drop.
Yeah, nothing like that. And so it's just for us to be able to take care of it. That was one thing we clarified really easy with a couple parents that they have opted out initially, but we got those fixed and stuff. But and then another counseling form that's very similar, that's separate, and a lot of them, that's really been confusing for a lot.
Like, I'm not going to give their kid a screener anyway for anything, but, you know, it says that on there. Basically, we're just...
They think we're doing psychiatric tests.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Lobotomies at the school.
Right, there you go.
Well, one of our severe anxiety seniors, her mom opted out of the counseling, and I said, not that you're gonna need me, but you're probably gonna need me. And I was like, I'm gonna delete it, she can redo it. Otherwise, if you're having a freak out day, you're gonna have to go, like you can't come to me. So,
We have
and
to have
her mom did.
parental consent. I mean, it's just what it is. But I do have several still. I can't get everybody's back. I mean, I can't make parents sign this. Also, can't make kids take these home and be like, hey, can you sign this and bring it back? We tried that. We tried all the parent squares. So, as of right now, we're not neglecting care to the kids unless I specifically have an opt out. I'm treating them as if everyone's an opt in. So that way nobody's neglecting their care while at school.
In the beginning, a lot of nurses, I think, reached out to TEA because of this miscommunication and getting consents back. So they are doing some revisions to it to where at first they have opt-in, opt-out. Now it's going to be a blanket. They have to be notified and like a signature that they were notified, and then they have the option of opt-out. You don't have to have an opt-in as long as they've been notified. But this year we still require the signature. But it'll be easier next year, I think, because we're going to be able to get it in the sender.
Yeah, for the registration.
So when I do online enrollment, it should be a lot smoother. Should be a process they have to cross before they can finish enrollment online, so it'll be a little bit better.
And also like specifically breaking up, I think parents will have to like click what services they do opt in on, not as a whole, from my understanding, right?
I think for opt-out, if they want to opt out, you
Right.
have to give them the option to opt out, like I'll opt out of this, this, and this, but then if they don't check it, then we're okay to do.
They're considered an opt in, yeah. So,
I think for the counseling one, they thought that the way I saw it, it's like we were gonna get them periodically, like once a week or twice a
Yeah.
month or something, and that's not the case.
We had a parent the other day stop in, and she goes, hey, when's the counseling going to start for so-and-so? And it's like, well,
let's just know.
it's just in case emergency happens, but when we did initiate, like, is there a concern, and that way we can initiate it, parent request,
Yeah.
but she just thought we were automatically going to do it since she signed it and returned it, so there's been a lot of confusion
Yeah.
with it all.
Also, this has been added in, we have to develop a new cardiac emergency response plan for the district. It has to be effective the school year 2027-2028. I really want to talk with y'all because we're going to have to be in contact with EMS services, developing a plan. I mean, it's going to have to go to the school board, develop a new policy.
There's a regional STEMI plan
Okay.
that from the NETRAC, which is the Northeast Texas Advisory Council. So I have that,
Okay.
we could probably look at that, and then,
Yeah, that'd be great.
so it's the EMS plan, all the way from EMS transfer, all that, so.
Okay, yeah, that'd be
We
really
could probably
nice.
share those materials.
It's gonna take from admin to nurses to marching band, like you said, marching band directors on there, athletics. So we're gonna have actual team and do an actual drill like we do our lockdown drills or fire drills.
We have to do one at the hospital, the city
Yeah.
drill every year too.
Yeah, so we gotta get this plan rolling because it's gonna be pretty tedious to create and then go through the school board and get it updated in our policy for the district and everything.
Mr. Kinsler, do you mind repeating what you said, it's a regional?
Like, it's the Northeast Texas Regional Advisory Council. They have what they call the STEMI plan, which involves EMS. I mean, it's for the whole RAC, which is like 7 counties. So
So that'll be a good resource.
please, my name's Kyle. Don't ever call me.
I was gonna say, he's not.
Yeah, that's my dad and grandpa. So
Just a little bit of resource overview, because really last year, the ones that were in the SHAC meetings, we really pushed about fentanyl awareness and education for the kids, especially because Governor Abbott claimed October as Fentanyl Awareness Month for the state of Texas. So we made some connections with, Julie was great with helping us with the SHS connections. We recently just had a drug awareness presentation with the SHS. Carla McKenzie came and spoke to our junior high and high school kids last Thursday, and went over that, which it is Red Ribbon Week as well right now. So we did have that, and then we also have several banners that student council had put up throughout junior high and high school, make awareness, and I know kids at elementary schools are having dress-up days right this week and everything. I talked to Rhonda Reed some. She wasn't able to make it today, but it's in talk about adding in curriculum and health classes regarding the fentanyl education. So getting that in the classroom as well. Tucker's Law, we talked about that a little bit last year in some of our meetings. It's now required for grades 6 through 12, adding in this curriculum annually. So I talked with some DSHS members, and I went ahead and we have another presentation set up for spring 2020 in May. We're gonna have a speaker come talk to our junior high and high school kids, which we kind of talked about last year too, of having a reminder in the fall and the spring semester for these kids, just to have it fresh on their mind, because I mean, it is out there and it is laced in candy and pills that they think they're taking from a friend that's just Tylenol. It's scary, so just making these kids aware, and I thought the presentation last week was really good for the kids, just showing the demonstration of how much fentanyl it takes, and you could barely even see it because it looked like 2 grains of salt, so that's just a little bit more of what's coming. So our SHAC chairman, we have Julie Greer that has graciously came and stepped in for us, but sadly we can't have her as our chairman because we need a parent that has a kid here in the district. So I have a little bit of information on SHAC and the duties and everything. We just need parental involvement within our district. I think it's kind of lacked in the past years, and it's really for parents and for the kids. So I have some of those resources right here if y'all want to take them and look at them, and then maybe we can kind of discuss. Of course, we're not going to just, here you go, good luck, throw it on you. I mean, we're a team and we want to do what's best for the district. Do you have anything to add on that?
Last year, we sent out a survey on Parent Square to try and get like what day of the week would be best after school, during school hours, and certain days of the week. Kind of narrowed it down to Wednesdays and Thursdays seem to be the best, and during school hours, or a lot of people said it didn't matter. But SHAC, some schools do it during the middle of the school day like we do, or some do it after school. Like if the parent, whoever our chairman is, if it's better for them to lead it, they can get more involvement. If it's done after school hours, we still have to try and get the students involved, that are representatives from junior high school, and sometimes it's hard after school hours. But that's something that's completely flexible with every SHAC. It just how each district wants to run it, and basically your chairman can be those deciding factors for that.
Yeah, I think last year it was going to be tough just because our student representatives, most of them are athletes or in band, and they have practices or games, and parents are running kids and picking up kids. So I think that's kind of why we stuck with in the middle of the school day, just to have more people available, but we're willing to change and whatever makes it work for y'all. Anybody have anything other than that? Just talk about the goals, and I have a topics list for SHAC meetings specifically. If y'all want a copy of it, more than welcome to get one. But I think just with the SART plan coming up, that'll be quite a bit to talk on, and then I mean, fentanyl education, I think we kind of got that covered now.
If there's any topics that come up, in the past we've talked from things from bullying to we've done EpiPens. Our SHAC has implemented EpiPens on all campuses for unassigned students in case of emergency, mainly because of the fact that some of our campuses are 25 minutes before EMS can get to us, and if you have bee sting, if they didn't know they're allergic and you have an anaphylactic reaction, what are you going to do? So we implemented that through SHAC. If there's many other topics, a lot of research that can be done on it. Just to bring, if there's ever a concern, SHAC is where it can be brought up.
I do maybe eventually want to talk about, have y'all heard of Neffy, the nasal spray epinephrine?
Yeah.
We were in a webinar and then it got brought up at the school nurse update this past August. We talked about possibly implementing that within our district and doing away with sub-Q, because I mean, I have so many staff that are terrified to stick a kid. I mean, God forbid it ever happened, but we're looking into it. I think there's like a small fee you have to pay for the software that you have to log your medication through, but we can talk about that more. I will honestly wouldn't mind transitioning to that. I mean, because once you do that, you can get the nasal spray for free, just like I get my Narcan for free.
I was going to ask about Narcan.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about fentanyl, we can talk about Narcan.
Yes,
too.
yeah, we've done several
We have a-
trainings, Edu and now they've been required through Region 8. You have to have 6th through 12th, so many staff members that are with 6th through 12th grade doing an annual training, and they're coming from Region 8, our next staff development day, to train us on it, on top of what we've already been doing.
You got that on all campuses now? Because we
Yes,
talked about the young kids are most likely, I hope, not to take it, but they might touch mom and dad's
Yeah.
Yep.
or think it's candy.
We
and
also
take it.
have it traveling to games with band, football, with our AED, and there's the packets at the facility, the AED that travels with games and everything.
When they talked about the the nasal epi, did they talk about like the expiration dates, or do they run longer than what the injections would be?
Say it lasted, it did last longer.
It lasted longer than the sub-Q
So
because
really a small fee probably would
It'd
be
be worth
offset by
which
having
I-
a discount.
yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, this is my second year, but I had a problem last year when I went through school nurse. Was it Epi?
EpiPens for school.
Yes, you get them for free. But I submitted the prescription and placed our order the first part of September last year. I did not get them until the end of March when our pediatric EpiPens were expiring, and I called, and thankfully we got them right after spring break. But this year I went ahead and placed it in August. Well, lo and behold, I got my order in this past week, and our EpiPens expire in October next year, so I'm gonna have to do a whole new order because it's not gonna make the whole school year. So I'm running into placing my order too early or too late, not getting them, and then when I do get them, it's not even gonna last the full school year. Which I hadn't really looked on any more resources of getting them, but I was just looking in after hearing about the nasal epinephrine, that might be better for us.
That's something we can look into as campus nurses before our next SHAC meeting is look into what it would take to do
Yeah,
NEPI and
I think it might be good, just from all the feedback I've gotten from staff, because we switched it to where it was on EduHero. It's required for all staff to do throughout the summer, and it was EpiPen and Narcan training, but doing it on a video, you don't get that actual using a
It's
trainer.
a lot different.
So I went around to all my admin staff, I did personally for my campuses and my cafeteria staff, and they had to show me how to correctly administer one, and they had to get a little sign-off sheet. So I know that if they had to get it, they could.
And for NEPI, if we do switch to NEPI, I know our handbook does mention epinephrine device, which covers us for either the auto injector or the nasal spray. But our policy, I think, is still auto injector, so that would have to be changed to epinephrine device.
So we have to take that to the school board just to update the policy. But I think it's definitely something to look into. Has anybody got anything?
I have a list of the trainings and different things that they do through community health for DSHS for you ladies
Awesome,
to
thank
take.
you.
And there's some other information in here for
Okay,
y'all,
that'd be great.
for the nurses.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Other than that,
On Narcan, before we leave, just so
Yeah.
that's there. So we do have it up on elementary campuses and junior high school. I know like school officers, I believe, also keep it too.
Yes, yeah, I gave some to Officer Berry.
So they have it, and then when I teach my CPR, and I know we just have guidelines and updates for our CPR for the 2025, it really pushes Narcan a lot, especially for Each and Heart Saver, and then also for BLS, it also really pushes Narcan more than it did before, and stuff for opioid overdose concerns. I remember at update trainings the other day, it mentioned that, and so we get it for free and we have it, but like training the staff, it's like kind of required to make sure you're training your staff. It's real big into that. And then the cardiac emergency plan, I think there's maybe a brief part of Narcan in there too, because it can lead to cardiac. I've looked at it a little bit, but I think it's a mix. It's pretty much pushed everywhere now to make sure you're training.
I'll ask
on
too,
Narcan.
when the lady comes from Region 8 to train the allotted amount of staff we have that have to go to this form for junior and high school, about elementary campuses, because this was specifically for grades 6 through 12. But like you said, I mean, if a little kid gets a hold of mom or your daddy's medicine at home or something like that, and I feel like there needs to be an adequate amount of staff at every campus, no matter the age, that is trained.
And then we have a lot of staff that CPR trained, and so it's part of our Heart
Yes.
Saver. We
Yeah, I
cover
had
Narcan.
Part of my mind as well. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Well, we're looking at maybe, the end of November, like possibly the first week of December before it gets crazy before Christmas. We'll kind of just talk. I'll just send you all a message. If y'all want to look at your calendars, like I did, and maybe we can get a game plan just before the holiday activities start and everybody's going everywhere. Are y'all good with that? And then we'll be good until the spring, and we'll have 2 more in the spring, so I can keep y'all till 3:15. Ms. Evers said 3:15 in the email, I'm like, y'all won't be here this long. Thank y'all for coming, I appreciate it. All right, we'll see you all next meeting.